Are you saying noise and noise?
Noise. Noise. Well, more noise than noise.
It was both.
Hey guys, Kris here.
My name is Guillaume. Hi, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing great. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. I'm going to grab
The chat box.
the chat box, the laptop device. Thank God for silent cables.
Oh yes. So this is gonna be a really cool live stream. We're a little excited. We're actually pretty damn excited for more than one reason, at least two.
So
First of all, we are in a new location.
Yes.
We moved. We're not done yet, but
Bedazzle.
we try to make it look as final and as absolutely amazing in front of the camera.
It's just really good that you
be.
guys can't see the other side of that room.
Yes, we're working on it. We are working on it because it's gonna be the nicest video space ever.
Yes.
We are super excited about that one. But the most important thing today is the reason for this live stream.
Yes.
And that is the
DIY Kid Challenge 22. Hashtag DIY Kid Challenge 22.
that one. I still cannot say it.
I've been programmed to just say that. And just before we go into the details of that DIY Kid Challenge 22, hashtag
Yes.
DIY Kid Challenge 22, let's say hello to K. Michael P, Pooh Ninja, Melanie Meinhardt, Amanda, Walid Hillbilly Girl. I love that name. ESPN 1337. My God, we got friends in high places, don't we? J Hap. Thank Nutric for those silence cables. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Nutric. Not a partner, but you know, still.
Damn good cable still.
Yeah, Joseph is here as well. Hello, everybody. It's really good to see you guys again. It's been a long while. And yeah, as mentioned, today we're going to be focusing on the hashtag DIY Challenge 22. And
This dude needs a prize. Wait,
I'm just going to go.
let me give you a prize. Wait, I'll be back.
We'll just be going through, yeah, basically maybe a short reminder of what the challenge is about because, oh my God, he's actually getting it.
May I give you a surprise?
I will happily accept it and then put it somewhere because I can't hold
you have
that
to hold
on
it.
the
You have to hold
laptop.
it.
Yeah, but reflection, look at that, look at that. Oh my God.
Don't kill the camera. Let's put it somewhere.
So yeah, this live stream is part of that campaign. If you're not familiar, the DIY Kid Challenge campaign is an opportunity for you guys to get one of the kits that are available on Thomann.de. Will probably be linked in the description box down below, or go check out the channel. The announcement videos have already been made. And so you guys get a kit, you build it, you trick it, you basically just customize your own instrument, whether it's a guitar, a bass, a cajon, a marimba, I think this year as well. Yeah,
wow.
yeah. Marimba.
Marimba.
So yeah, you get that, you build it, you customize it, you film yourself. If the instrument's playable, you post that video on either YouTube, Facebook, Instagram or TikTok, and you get a chance to win vouchers, and pretty substantial vouchers of €500, 350 and €200, but you might want to check the link because I'm not too sure anymore. But anyways, yeah, that's about it. And so today we're just going to go over maybe some of what we've been doing on our side, talk about our own DIY projects. Kris got one of his here. This is not the one for this year,
one. Yeah.
but it's one that he's done. So we can talk about that, sort of the difficulties we're going into. If you guys have any questions regarding finishing process or just like parts fitting and that kind of thing.
How to do certain things, how to shape the headstock, how to, like, what's up with the decal? How can you put on a decal and where you get it, blah, 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 all these kind of things.
I'm here for decoration because he's going to be answering your questions.
No.
What did Gotoh, Guillaume, and Kris parfait?
What?
I don't know if that's a thing, actually, like mid-afternoon snack, Gotoh? It's like, I don't know. Do you have that in Germany as well? Like around 4, you get like a dinner. I heard dinner. I was like, this is so German. Right, not around 4 p.m. Yeah, dinner.
It's evening already.
Yeah. So, well, thank you very much, Farid. It's really nice to see you guys again. So yeah, basically today, if you have any questions regarding the DIY kits, how to assemble them, how to modify them, how to customize them, that's what we're going to be doing. So answering a bunch of questions. And if you guys don't have any questions, well, we're just going to talk for about an hour.
Exactly.
Right?
And also, if you have any mods in mind or just fixes or whatever, we can of course discuss it. It doesn't have to necessarily be related to the DIY kit challenge. Yeah. It just makes sense to talk about it right now because a lot of people are doing like making an instrument right now. I've seen a couple of posts. I checked the hashtag. There are quite a few really cool videos out there already. So people are involved, and that's absolutely amazing. If you know us, you know that we love to tinker with stuff and swap parts and customize and relic.
We're talking about the German eating habits now. This is what we're doing. Jay Habs at Café trinken, which, you know, yeah, fair enough. But then Wally just said Germans don't have Gotoh, they have beers. Which, you know, an experience.
Is this a very German thing, or is it just a thing I never experienced before because I was too young to care? The Kaffee and Kuchen.
Kaffeekuchen, yeah.
Kaffee and Kuchen. Is this a German thing?
Oh yeah.
Because
I don't know if it's German, but
it's
I know it.
that area of Germany.
Yeah, but you're German, so
you're the only German in the room, Phil. Come on. Bavarian. Oh my God, sorry. We insulted the Bavarian. We have beers. Yeah,
Stop it.
He agreed with the beer part. Sorry for any Bavarians that I might have offended.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, what Kris was saying, basically, any questions regarding, you know, modifying guitars, building guitars. We're mostly going to talk about guitars because,
you know. But if you have bass questions,
go for it.
Totally. Yeah. I love bass as much. I just cannot play it as. Not even as good as
Jeff saying my self-build would be fit to the great Hendrix tribute, as in pour lighter fuel on it and set it on fire.
Well, that's been done. That's been done.
That's true.
Check out Nate Navarro's crazy good bass DIY mod. He just threw the body, or the whole instrument, not sure. I think only the body on his campfire.
Headstock too.
The whole thing, on his like campfire.
Yeah.
I literally burned that thing and then
awesome.
put strings on it and played like a maniac, but that's because, you know, it's Nate Navarro.
Florian Ster, in Germany we say kein Bier for vier. Yeah, but 4 in the morning. Because like, I've heard
really
that before, but those friends have issues, so, you know.
Well, maybe they don't
Depends
sleep
on
that
which
long.
sphere you're talking about, my friend. But it's a good saying, I like it.
Some people wake up early, don't worry about it, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Frühschoppen, that's a German thing. Frühschoppen, which means that you start drinking really early.
Let's start talking about that guitar, and we'll go back to German breakfast very soon. What is that? What is that? Where did that originated? What parts are those? How did you come about making that instrument?
Yeah, well, the thing is that I just worked in the workshop here at Thomann and had this neck lying around.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. And yeah, so this was like a neck that was twisted. And it was just there, and no one really knew where it's from. It had no decal on it, a very different headstock, and it's like just a neck, really. And after a time, I asked, like, okay, can I do something with it? Can I don't know, try to fix it? Because it was like twisted, literally. And yeah, sure, use it to practice and whatever. So I did that. I changed everything about it, and then I was like, okay, this is too nice to not build a guitar out of it. So I ordered a Harley Benn T-style kit. And this is the body from that kit. And then I started building the guitar. I had this idea, which I saw somewhere, I think Gotoh guitars, a British custom, like a really small custom brand. And they make these really retro looking, really good looking guitars, like one of a kinds, right? So they will use like old car label, like the thing that they stick on the car, this metal piece of whatever, the name of the car.
Emblem.
Branding maybe, or emblem, whatever. You probably know the word. You know what we mean. He has those things on it and like old things etched in it and carved and whatever, routed in the guitars and really cool designs. And he had this pattern, this white.
Like full binding type of thing.
Like a really thick painted binding kind of thing that goes over the edge, and then it comes up here in a circle and goes up in the middle.
Unfortunately, the stripe in the middle.
Yeah, it's like a racing stripe almost. And the Bixby covers up most of the nice parts, but that was the challenge. I was like, okay, I really have to try this. And then I finished the body this way, which is like seafoam green and Olympic white. And the challenge was to, I'm not sure if we can show it even, to make the line between the two colors really sharp, like to look as professional as it can be. Let me know, Phil, if the angle is good.
Just trust him. Phil knows.
Yeah, just the reflections, you know.
Phil knows best.
Always. In case you're wondering how come everything looks and works so well here, it's because of Teemu sitting there at the audio desk and Phil at that camera, who's
so
probably pointing at me right now.
So quiet, I forget that he's here. This silence.
Yeah, so it was a really fun and very time-consuming finishing process. That was the main goal. Like, I wanted to try this out, basically. And then I was done with the guitar. I had filter drum pickups in there and the Bixby because I wanted that garage kind of flair. And it worked perfectly. I love the guitar now. I swapped the pickups to a Tele bridge and a P90 neck pickup because I just realized that I don't play the guitar because of the tone that much, which I love, but it just, you know how it is. You connect to something and you really want to play it all the time or not. And this way the guitar just ended up being an absolute mad instrument. Yeah, and I relicked it because it's also really hard to relic in a nice way. It's not going to look very authentic anyhow, so that was not the goal. I just wanted to make it look like it's not artificially scratched. So all the weather checking, all the crackles and all the hues on it, I tried to make it like sort of in a logical way, how it would anyhow happen. And not crazy much. It's just, you know, a bit of something everywhere.
Well, we'll go back to that guitar and maybe like how much inspiration can people derive from that instrument into building their own kits, because there's quite a lot that went into that guitar, and the challenge is only open for another month at this point.
Mid-June, right?
Yeah, a month and a half-ish. So you guys it started 2 weeks ago and originally was 2 months, so you have whatever is left of those 2 months. But I think the deadline is June 19th. For submissions. So yeah, sorry, that was a bad joke and a couple of good questions. What do you call a fish with no eyes? A fish. I kind of dig it, really. Thank you. I called it a bad joke, but it's not bad at all. I'm sorry. Couple of good questions from Rob Smoke and Sauce.
Nice.
What are the judging criteria? More is more in terms of the amount of modifications and whatnot. Originality, quality. What are the criteria? Well,
it depends on the judge, and there are a few of us.
There will be at least 4 of us. Last year was 4 of us, Kris and I, as well as 2 other community managers. This year will be at least that, plus probably some more people. And it depended on what you put the accent on your build. So some people may spend a really long time sort of making the instrument play as perfectly as possible. Some others spent more time going into like more visual and aesthetic details, whether it's in terms of wood carving or paint or sticker bombing or any
shape,
or
change
shaping,
the shape, like
reshaping. Some others went into complete like modification, rage mode, punk, steampunk, evil, whatever, like there was some like really crazy stuff. So we're not judging just based on the one thing, and none of them are more important. It depends, as long as your instrument needs to be playable. That needs to be a thing, that needs to be said, right? Playable, and then it depends on the vibe you want to go with. If you want to recreate a classic instrument, go for that. That's super sexy if it's well done. If you want to go completely bonkers and just, you know, do a guitar that really doesn't look like a guitar anymore, as long as it plays like one, we're good. So don't please.
If I can give you a tip, like the way I see it, and this doesn't have to be the right, you know, sort of solution or whatever, but the way I see it, if you have experience with finishing, you know, instruments, cars, whatever, furniture, or with woodworking, then it makes more sense to stick to something minimalistic. You know what I mean? Because then if you have less and you want to make that less more, then that less has to just be, you know, heart melting. And that's probably where details really matter. If you go crazy with something and make something very original and it's, you know, a little, not super clean, no one will care about it because it's an original idea. It's something that's fun, something that's unique, something that's out of like this world and just absolutely unimaginable. Like someone put in like whatever gaming console under the strings and had the whole guitar in that whatever the comic figure was. Do you guys remember? It was the really fun guitar, and he played punk rock, and it was nasty and whatever, and I absolutely loved it. And it was my favorite.
One of the winners had like a functioning phone in there.
Yeah.
Like a,
the French guy,
a rotary, the French guy.
Yeah.
One of them, because we had
all
two
of them were
Frenchies. We had two Frenchies in the top 5 last year.
That's true.
But
They were amazing.
Yeah, there was like a functioning phone with a speaker built inside the guitar. It was like crazy stuff, and obviously in that.
The dial-in thingy, and it worked.
And it worked as it worked as a stutter.
Yeah.
That was sick. That was such a cool guitar.
Yeah. So crazy ideas, awesome. Super classic, clean stuff, minimalistic, awesome. You know.
Speaking of like devil is in the detail type of thing, we have a really good comment from Sean McCartney, because that's exactly where I'm at with my build right now. Waiting on a couple of parts to show my finished build for the challenge has been a very fun experience. That is awesome. That's definitely the main criteria, is that you guys have fun. Pro tip, lean into the relic look when you're not good at finishing work. My guitar is very much going to be a heavy relic, and I will let you guess why based on the fact that I said it right after that comment. It's my first finish. It's the first time I use paint to finish an instrument, so yeah, manage your expectations. But
it's not easy here.
Yeah, don't put a priority in terms of what you think we're going to judge first. If your instrument is fun, it might win. If your instrument is beautiful, it might win. If your instrument is just assembled, it might win. It's like, you know, you can always refer to last year's winners, because I think there was a really nice array of the things that we appreciated.
That's true.
The fact that one of the number one was
the
a guitar
T-style.
that was magnificently built and finished. And it was like, yeah, again, devil is in the detail. Everything was built and set up to perfection. The reshaping of the body, the curves, everything was
the headstock.
spot on.
Oh man, remember that?
It was beautiful.
And it was just white. He painted everything white, and it was super minimalistic, and it was just a work of art. And then the other ones were crazy, like with all the nasty ideas and crazy stuff and electronic solutions.
The ukulele with the LEDs in the fretboard
with the chords.
You could see some of the glue marks and glue works here and there, but the dude had LEDs in the fretboard
and made a software
to program scales into it. That is insane. So yeah, you can always refer to that, but we're not going to put one criteria above the other, as long as the instrument is playable. That is the only one that. If you can't play your guitar, if you can't play, and again, we're saying playable. If you play Smoke on the Water on it, it's enough. We're not looking for skills. We just need to know that the guitar is functional. Because what we did last year, we offered all the winners to send us. I mean, we'd send the label obviously and the box and stuff, but to send us their instrument so that we could give them a shout out on screen, play their instruments and whatnot. So
that would be awesome.
We'll probably be doing something similar this year if we have the chance. But that was a really good question. Another one that I saw from Tim Broccoli. It's 2K, so I don't know where you put the inflection, but also I don't like broccoli. So
what?
No,
get out of here.
Not a big fan. It's all right. It's just not my first choice. You know, if I have that or cheeseburger,
I'll make broccoli once, and you will.
Hey guys, I just got my tally kit and read that the video submission should be maximum 60 seconds long. Is that true? Because most of last year's videos were in the 3+ minutes long. Okay. I think we put 60-second long in there because there's a lot more vertical social media platforms in the entry options. And if you post on Instagram or on TikTok, even on Facebook to some extent, your video is going to be under 60 seconds. If your video on YouTube is longer than 60 seconds, but you put all the hashtags, you put all the things, it's fine. Don't worry about it too much. We'll sort with the hashtag and what we were tagged on. If your video on YouTube is a little bit longer, don't worry about it. But it's also a bit of convenience for us because last year we had to sort out through hundreds. Oh God. Like
300-400
videos that we have to watch from start to finish.
And then narrow it down, and then narrowing it down, and then narrowing it down to the
And if each
winners.
of those videos are 30 minutes long, it's kind of you know,
Takes weeks
it's
to-
really it's quickly hardcore for us. So you know, don't make them too long. If they're a little bit longer than that, like 3-4 minutes or whatnot, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But I understand that it was a good question.
New comment time.
Oh,
I might react to the comments.
Beautiful.
Always.
And that's considered playable as well. So if you do that in your kid video, it works. It's absolutely fine. Is it okay if the pickup configuration is totally different? Absolutely. Go ham.
Everything is okay.
Go ham. If you want to reroute to put like 5 bass pickups in your guitar kit, go for it, as long as it works. But yeah, it's we don't have any limits. Again, as long as it's playable, you could just strip the guitar to just a log, or just try and prove the tone wood situation thingy with your DIY kit and make it a real air guitar. Who knows? You can do anything that you want as long as it's playable. Just whatever, anything goes. So yeah. Okay, couple of tech questions as well.
Oh,
here.
totally. Yeah, I'm waiting for those. We even have the Workbench. Phil, can you switch to the Workbench? We have the Workbench here, and we have some parts. I can, in case we have the questions answered, I have some parts there from my current build and some tools that we really find useful and use them a lot when we're, you know, modding or building anything. Go for it. Wait, let me go there just to be there.
Yeah, go there. Go there.
there.
I'll stream it. Yeah. Couple of really interesting comments there. The Troublecaster looks awesome. It really does.
Thank you.
What if my video is 9 hours long and real-time build plus 8 hours of drying paint? that was Poo Ninja. I think the second we'll know it's your video, we'll just skip it anyways. I'm kidding. You can do anything you want. Just 9 hours, well, you know. Let us know in the title that we can skip at that point.
Yeah.
And so we don't have to sit through it. But otherwise, yeah, just go crazy. Okay, a little bit unrelated. Let's go for it. Would you recommend low action for an acoustic guitar?
Oh,
do you have
okay.
like numbers?
I feel like
measurements?
I'm in the right.
You're in the
right spot
okay.
right now
Can
for
you
this question.
Show me your little ruler and how you go about measuring the action, and do you have numbers in mind for your typical acoustic guitar?
Yes. Well, it's hard to say what is a typical, but you will not see any of these numbers right now, obviously. It's way too far. But there are different string gauges. Just a proper normal ruler, whether you're an inch person or a centimeter person, you'll find these very useful. And there are some specific string gauge tools that you can grab. You can buy it at Thomann. You can improvise and just make it yourself. These metal ones are really nice because they just don't wear off, don't break. They're just stable, and you can always read the numbers. They don't peel off like in plastic many times. Yeah.
Can keep that with
acoustic,
your credit card.
like steel string acoustic, I would call on the low E string side. On this string, if you measure without pushing the string anywhere down, at the 12th fret like this, if you measure 2.2, 2.5 millimeters, that's nice. That's not super low, but that's like a nice, non-buzzy kind of regular medium-low action. And on the high E, you can go for 2 millimeters. That works. I do not have the inch equivalent in like, I cannot say it by heart. Maybe someone can write it in. I think 2 millimeters is like 0.08, like 800th. Is it 800th? If it's 0.08 inch?
800.
Math. We love math. I think it's 800th.
Why do we bother
US
with those
people.
units?
Can you confirm?
Let's just give it in millimeter, then use Google. Guys,
yeah, Google helps.
On.
Google is good. Yeah, so 2 millimeters, 800th inch could be nice on the high E string, and I guess like 2.2, 2.5 millimeters, which is around 900th of an inch for the low E.
Because I think when they go for 100, they'll say like 1/16
Yeah,
or
yeah, it
of an
depends.
inch,
Like on a ruler, you will
which is
barely
even worse
see.
because now
On
you
a
have
ru-
to cut whatever measurement you thought was right in 16 and then pick 1 or 2 out of those.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But on a ruler, you will usually see like the normal
Yeah.
decimals, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever. That works. And if you want to go really crazy low, then like 2 millimeter across the whole fretboard, like 2 millimeters for the low E and little under around 2 millimeters on the high E. But that's already electric guitar string action. So that's like you have to have a light touch on the acoustic, and then it will work. Such as Mike Dawes, crazy acoustic tapper, shredder, you know, does all the things really cool acoustic players do. And he has a very low action, a straight neck, like almost straight, and a very low action. And he doesn't buzz because he doesn't hit the string part.
He's good.
He's just good.
Thank you. Thousandth.
Thousandth. Is that thousandth?
I don't know. Don't think
Because it's
about
on the
it too
second
much.
spot. It should be 100th.
Thank you very
whatever.
much for that extremely comprehensive answer, Chris. You have been a good guitar tech. You may come back.
You may come back.
We've got some more specific questions regarding the T-style kit from Sean McCartney, who's building his.
Yeah.
This
is pretty much one.
might be an issue because I don't know if you kept yours original in that respect. Is there any way you guys could pull some strings and get the post hole spacings for the bridges and tailpieces put up on the product descriptions on the website?
That's such a detail. It's
Trust me, I struggled with it yesterday with my kit because the measurements that were on there were not exactly accurate. And the measurements that I thought would be the ones that I'd find on my kit were not exactly accurate.
Yeah.
That is going to be a problem with spare parts that you want to throw out there, like maybe a better set of tuners, a better set, like a bridge and tailpiece type of thing. We could tell you, yeah, it's metric, and it's going to be 58 millimeter, whatnot. The problem is at that scale of production for those kits, there's an error margin. And that's something that we cannot.
the funny part about this. Like this shouldn't happen, of course, but even Fender, and Fender is pretty good in QCing stuff and everything, and they make very consistent quality. Whether it's Mexico or Squier, guitars are obviously the US models. If you get a Fender spare part, whether it's a big guard or whatever it is, it might not fit perfectly on your Fender guitar that's like the right model. Because of course you have to be careful with models and vintage style or modern style. That's complicated as well. But even if it's supposed to fit, it might still not perfectly fit. It's just, there are some differences in
Adam D is
how
here.
the router is and how the whatever.
Yeah, there's an error margin for those kits that is a little bit too high for us to tell you exactly the spacing is going to be this or that. Start from the fact that the pieces that you get with the kit fit inside the kit. Then you can sort of work your way back with mostly the metric, the spacing. That's why we usually recommend get your kit, have a look at it,
Spread it.
scale it, exactly.
Yeah.
Look at the bits and pieces, then you can measure exactly what you got and then order something that will fit for that. But I made that mistake again yesterday. It's just not something that is QCable at that scale for kits that are, let's be honest as well, that affordable.
Yeah.
You can only put so much.
Which is interesting. You tried Gotohs. Were those the tuners that didn't fit, or the bridge?
The bridge.
The bridge.
Yeah.
Crazy,
Bridge
because I also
spacing is
have
off.
the offset kit, the JA kit, and that it's not traditional, but it has like tunematic style bridge, so like on a Gibson guitar. And I just randomly ordered Gotoh parts, which should work for Epiphone and like metric single cut guitar types, and it perfectly works. I tested it before I started finishing the guitar because I wasn't sure, even though it's metric, if it's like 1 millimeter too narrow or too wide, or it doesn't fit, or it just barely fits. And I put the posts in and it worked. So it's the same kind of measurement, should have the same exact width and probably the same bridge that you tried from Gotoh, which is probably the same as what I tried. didn't
It
work
didn't
for you
fit
and
on
worked
mine.
perfectly for me. So
But it should have been the right measurement, but my posts are like maybe a millimeter too
Yeah.
narrow, the holes on the guitar. And so, yeah, you know, then you either work your way around it, you plug those holes, you re-drill, if you want to do like that kind of heavy modification, if you know how to do it as well. But it might just be an exception. But yeah, you had to plug and re-drill. That's why I was. That's why I was
the thing is
asking.
about the T-Star kit, because you were asking about the T-Star kit.
I think that was my mistake because he just wrote that tolerances are a thing. Completely understand. You're a legend. And FYI, the Vibramate B5 converter does fit the post holes on the GA kit. So now I'm thinking I read that wrong, and you're actually building the GA kit. Sorry, that's on me.
So, for example, the T-style kit. Maybe they changed the bridge now. I don't think. This is many years old now. I built this guitar around 2016.
No, afterwards. I was already 17. There. So that was 2017 or 18.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, a long time ago, before I started
back in the day
posting videos on my channel, because otherwise I would have filmed the process.
Yeah.
And the thing is that here you can a little bit see if a camera would come super close. I tried to cover it so it's hard to spot it. I filled the 4 holes for the original screws, because the original T-style bridge that comes with the guitar is longer and it just sits more to the back.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put on like a real ashtray bridge, because I just love that sidewall and I wanted it on the right spot. Yeah. So I had to close all those holes and re-drill the whole bridge. So these are DIY kits, and DIY means lots of troubleshooting.
Do it yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much for the question though. Couple more questions since then. Are these kits interchangeable? Do you mean the parts from the kits? Like, can you slap that neck on that neck pocket or that body? Or to some extent.
To some
that
extent.
said, don't rely on that. I'd stick with like the one kit, or maybe parts of it, like if you get 2 different tele kits and then the part. Technically, they should be all interchangeable, but that's again a question of tolerances. Mostly when we're talking about neck pockets and that kind of thing, a Fender neck won't fit that neck pocket. A Squier neck, some of them will, depending on when they were made and where they were made.
Yeah, so basically not.
There is no really good answer for that. I would advise not to try and, at least not to hope too much that the parts will fit in between the different kits, but you know.
If you want to go wild and put like the single cut kit neck on like a T body, for whichever reason, I would try to glue it. Use proper wood glue and glue the neck into the neck pocket, because probably the holes will sit on the wrong place. The length will not fit, so you will probably have to shape something like the neck pocket, part of the neck, the ending of the neck, something like that. And at the end,
it's worth noting that all the set necks, set neck styles have a sort of recessed
fourth
back plate, and so you'll have the screws being like this and that, and all those.
This one is lower,
right? And all those are for like standard,
you know, rectangular. Or whatever that shape is.
F-style backplate type of thing.
So this screw would be lower and this corner would be sort of rounded off, right?
Yeah, that's it. At least on the, I know on the single and double cut kits.
On the double cut as well? Okay.
Maybe,
I can't remember. But we built one last year, but it was too long ago.
Devil's in the details, so don't, you know, either be extremely careful with what you think will be interchangeable. Generally, I wouldn't really advise for it.
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
I have several questions.
Okay.
One of them that requires you to go back to the bench, I think, because you can give like a short demonstration of the question that was right there. Yes, what kind of tools do you need in order to customize a guitar kit? A guitar kit.
Lucky you. We have all the tools you need.
To Go to your desk. God damn. Just FYI, before he gets started on whatever he's about to tell you, to assemble the kits, you don't need anything but a Phillips head screwdriver.
Yeah.
Everything else that you need, maybe, you know, if you want to go all in on putting the post inside the guitar, you could do it with finger, like hand pressure, that's usually enough, but like a soft mallet or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But otherwise, in terms of assembling the guitar,
This helps.
you'll just need like maybe a couple of different sizes of Phillips head screwdrivers,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
about it.
So like a swappable head kind of screwdriver is very useful if you want to push in the posts for the bridge and for the tailpiece on a model like this. You can use the end, like the flatter end. It's not the most elegant thing, but we've been there, right?
I did that last year, and I also swapped the tailpiece with the bridge. So, you know, let's just not.
Yeah, that didn't work out, but you can actually work that in there, so that's cool. But if you really want to make it look like a guitar you just bought, it's gonna need a bit more. So first of all, obviously all kinds of screwdrivers and Allen keys for everything that needs those kind of tools. That's pretty obvious. Let's not talk about sizes. It's really hard
and that's even just about setup. Like I think in terms of customizing your kit.
Yeah. So let's start with the finish, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
I'd say
'Cause
finish. Start with the finish.
So these are old cans that I've been using earlier. It's a clear coat that's probably the what's the English word? Amber color that's on the back side of my Troublecaster. It's the empty can. You need some sort of a finish. Yeah, that one. You need some sort of a finish. I like nitro because I just like the feel of it, but you can just go in a hardware store and just grab any finish. It doesn't have to be that expensive of a can, right? So you need that, which is a very delicate and time-consuming process. And if you want to finish anything and you don't want it to look like you just went in your garden and sprayed some stuff on it, you will definitely have to sand it back almost after every layer of finish you put on. You will have to put on, yeah, he's laughing. These are his.
You'll see.
This doesn't look like you sanded wet, but let's talk about it later.
I did for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part.
It's just bad wet.
Bad wet. These are micro mash pads, which are sanding pads. And if you use these wet, so like, oh, you did use it wet. Nice. This is some dirty water. You put this in there, and then you can sort of sand the finish back. Why is that important? Because if you ever finished anything with a spray can or like with whatever, you know that it looks kind of like orange peel, orange skin, whatever it's called.
Orange peel, yeah.
And that's just something
which can be a look that you want to go for.
Exactly. So if that's what you want, don't use these. If you want it to look like it just came out of you know, whatever. Factory, or a master luthier, you want to make it look smooth, right?
High expectations.
So then you want to use these micro mash pads and just make them wet and send them back. I will have 2 videos on my channel where you can watch that for like 12 minutes of sanding.
Adam D saying I use the micro mesh pads to polish my frets. Yes, also.
That's also a good thing you can do with these.
Because I did the fretboard before I did the finishing.
Oh, really?
Because I could, so that way I could just clean them up and reuse them for wet sanding.
No,
and not have to do the frets afterwards. So I did use those pads to dress up my fret work, and then.
I need to be the mean teacher. That's not something I recommend doing.
No. I'm not saying that. You shouldn't do what I did, but you can use them for that too.
You can definitely use them, but I would recommend doing it the other way around, because after you use these micro mash pads for metal, they will become black.
I used the other side for the guitar body.
This really? Wow, you can be that clever and just use one side for metal and the other side only.
Still, you're going to lose
some
metal particles in the water when you're doing the wet sanding.
That's
so
the trouble.
Don't do what I did. All I'm saying is that it works for both.
It can color like really bright finishes if you have this black metal dust on it. So yeah, that's why I would recommend, if you want to use the same set, like you don't want to buy 2, obviously, because you know, why wasting stuff? You can do the finish first, just wet, and then it doesn't look like this, because the little finish particles will not suck into this mash pad, and then you can use it for metal, for like, you know, on all your guitars if you want to polish the frets. Okay, so That's
LMD
something you
saying
definitely
I
need.
wouldn't use the same pads. I'd get new ones. Yeah, well, I didn't have the time.
Of course, what you
I
will
didn't
see.
have the time.
That's what you would see in like a professional workshop. There's like, if you ever use the metal pads for finish or buffing, they will,
They will hurt you.
yeah, they will not like
Luckily,
you.
nobody was here to hurt me.
Yeah, so that's cool, of course, but obviously because of cost reasons and just not wasting this stuff, if you never ever build a DIY guitar again, you can then use it for years on your guitars to polish the frets. Yeah, so it's very nice. This is all you need for the finishing process.
Yeah.
What you also need is patience and a space where you can spray and definitely protect your lungs, because all kinds of sprays are really bad for you, and especially nitro.
Yep.
So yeah, I finally invested in like a proper 3M thing, that like a really good mask. So be careful with that, and let it cure, let it dry between the layers. So maybe like two or three layers between, like on one day, and then let it, you know, dry.
I did 5 this morning.
Yeah. Well,
Arthur is saying, I love how Guillaume purposefully does all the mistakes so we can learn. Yes!
yeah.
That is exactly why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. I'm making all the mistakes so you guys can learn.
And I'm trying to avoid them because,
that-
you know, no pressure,
I'm
Mr.
that
Guitar
good
Tech
of a
Tips guy.
person. Yeah, that's
Right?
it. Everyone's looking at you. They don't expect anything from me. It's
Yeah,
like,
I
is
would
your
so wanna
guitar
swap.
together? Yes, sort of. Good enough. You know?
All right, so that's the finishing part.
Talk about the frets and neck and
Yes.
that kind of thing. Because, wait, one question.
Go for it, go for it.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna. You interrupted me.
Always.
No, Deja Voodoo was asking how many points for rolled fingerboard edges, rounded off fret ends, and super smooth frets in general, and that's why I wanted to talk about that next. That's definitely something that Kris and I really, really appreciate. So if it comes through in your video, or if you include pictures of close-ups, so that we can see that those are rolled all nice and shiny and everything, that's definitely something that Kris and I will enjoy, if that's the vibe that you're going for with your kid, just like perfection, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not a lot of work. It takes probably like half an hour max to round off the edges. If you don't have binding on the guitar, you can actually use these pads and just go for it on the side. This will round off the frets beautifully, and even the fretboard. Like if it's like a pretty sharp edge, like a rosewood or whatever edge, that's fine. Be careful if it's a finished fretboard. These kits are not, there's no maple instrument, so you don't have to worry about these kits. But if you're doing this on like a maple fretboard guitar, which is finished, you will scratch it like crazy. So you have to tape that before you start sanding the edge of the frets. But that's like really nice. You also have these fret edge files, which there are some Guitar Tech Tips episode where you can just round off just the frets, like leave the fretboard alone if you don't want to change the radius or anything. So there are options for it, and that's gonna benefit you mostly because you're gonna be playing that instrument, and you will love going wherever you want on the neck if it's just buttery smooth. This one is pretty edgy because it was in our old studio, which was a beautiful room, but very dry, like the driest room probably ever, and the frets don't sink or shrink, but the wood does. So the neck shrunk a little, and the frets are sort of pointing out just a little bit, but you can really feel it. So this is something I would definitely wanna just sand off, and it goes really, really easily. It's just the nature of different material. They react to humidity differently, and this even happens with expensive guitars if they're in a warehouse in the winter, right? So it's a heated warehouse, dry air. You cannot really avoid that. So if that happens, you can use the micro mesh pads. You can use those files. They're professional tools which are probably too expensive if you're just doing a DIY guitar every now and then. But there are specific files for that, of course. But these simple tools will also do the job.
Yeah. Couple of good news in the chat. Frankie Boy received his King of Tone, finally.
Frankie Boy, you the man.
Yeah,
how you like it?
Well done, well done.
Did you get a gold one or a black one, white one? I think you wrote once that it had like a couple.
We'll check on it. It's probably on Instagram already.
Yeah.
We'll check on Instagram afterwards. Went into a weird of a karate conversation afterwards. Paul Cook is saying that nobody likes sprouts. Yes, that is true. Whether they're from Fred's or Brussels. And then a lot of movie references, some of which I get, some of which no, not really. Couple of questions on back of the neck finishes as well, because a lot of the guys been talking about True Oil and shellac products to finish the back of the neck, and that was Sean McCartney as well, who used amber tinted shellac on the neck to get the telly yellow look.
Wow, love that. Shellac is awesome.
And we had someone else before just talking about the different products.
You can search for it. I have one more
The
tool.
best feeling neck in the world is a combo of True Oil and gun stock wax. Thank you, Ben Eller from Adam D. And yeah, that's where we were going.
There we go. So I wanted to mention another tool, a saw type, which is something that comes very handy. But since we're talking about True Oil,
let's finish the neck and then go up to the headstock.
Yeah, makes sense. So this is a Warwick wax that is really nice and can be the last step. Before that, you should definitely oil that unfinished, like maple or mahogany or whichever, back of the neck. So that's something that needs to be done first, because if you leave that wood open pore, like there's no finish on it, no protection, and it's dry, then your sweat, your skin that peels off, you know how nature is, that doesn't do it any good, especially if it's a humid climate you're living in, or you play your shows, you sweat like hell, you throw it in a gig bag or case and leave it in there for days, that neck is gonna do stuff you don't want to see. So you need to oil and wax unfinished surfaces, except for treated maple, like these baked or roasted maple necks. Apparently you don't have to. I still definitely recommend doing it because it doesn't hurt, because it looks absolutely beautiful if you oil wood. If you ever tried that earlier, like really dry, like a blank of wood, and then you oiled it, it's like, it's beautiful. So definitely use oil. I love this one, but they're crazy, like Dunlop and all kinds of oils. And then once it's sunk in and it's sort of dry, then use these this wax, which is something you can rub on with like a fine cloth.
Fine cloth.
Wait, where's my fine cloth?
You have it?
With
you need fine cloth.
Fine cloth.
Yes.
And just be careful with it. It's gonna be sort of waxy, so don't use it on the finish because it will just smear stuff on it. But this could be then your oil and wax towel or whatever, so that really works. Just work it in, not too much, a pretty thin layer, let it sort of dry and pull off the what's too much on it. Doesn't have to be covered with wax because it's going to be sticky. So just a thin layer, and yeah, see if it's enough. You can test if your neck is unfinished with a nice little trick. You can just put a drop of water on it. Just one drop of water, and from your fingertip, just let it drop on it. And if it sinks in the wood, it's unfinished and you need to do something. If it just sits on top, like a little bubble, like an Eskimo igloo, yeah, you're good. It doesn't suck all the moisture in, which is exactly what it should do to be protected and to last long. Yeah, so
taking the
that's
metaphor.
awesome.
Sorry, got a few answers from our boys there, boys and girls. Sorry, my bad. Frankie Boy's King of Tone is black and he's been waiting 4.5 years for it.
Yes,
That's
I know
pretty
that
sick.
part. Black,
both of it.
elegant, like it.
Sick. Absolutely elegant. Yeah.
Yes,
I do love that. They were talking about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and judging us very harshly for not watching it. It's like, I started, I think, a long time back in those days. But apparently I need to binge watch it, and so does Amanda. But she doesn't want to turn into a potato. Well, you know,
I mean, I do, but you know,
I'm all potato at this point. So, thank you very much for the references and all the Danny DeVito pictures that you shared with us.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. So anyway, I started blasting. Yeah, I get that reference. There was also a question by Frankie Boy about how to make where is it? Best way to make a lacquered neck satin-ish.
Okay.
I can tell you how I did it, and then he can tell you how you should do it. I used the coarse side of a sponge.
Yes. Yes.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's the
that worked
easiest
for
way.
me.
Yeah.
That worked for me.
The thing is, I never did that before because I just didn't dare trying it. But so I used, again, the micro mesh pads. I sanded the glossy finish of the back of the neck sort of inverse. I had a woodworker professional commenting that's a really bad idea and don't do it and people don't listen to him. He's probably right. It worked perfectly though. So it's probably out of the box thinking and probably not like the conservative method, what I'm doing, but I just thought inverse, right? Inverse engineering, basically. If you want to polish something, you go from like, 3,600, 4,000 something, 6,000, 8,000, and then 12,000. That gives you a nice sort of vintagey kind of gloss. If you want to make that glossy finish less glossy, well, you can go back, right? So you can inverse it, 12,000, 8,000, 6,000, 4,000, 3,000, and you stop where it just is enough satin for you. You can also do the opposite, like a bit more wild, just work yourself up. So start with like 1,800, which is pretty crazy. That's gonna be matte, like completely matte, and then work yourself up to like 2,400, 3,600, and stop where you feel that it's enough satin, not too matte and definitely not too glossy yet. So that would be the conservative, proper way. But this inverse thing, to going from the least coarse to down to a point where it feels matte enough, also worked. But the sponge thing is something that someone commented once on one of my videos, and people tried it, and it looks absolutely amazing. So those kitchen sponges, that coarse side, the rough side,
Scotch-Brite.
Yeah, that one, the Scotch-Brite side, and the normal one. Use the Scotch-Brite side and just.
The trick is always keep it wet and don't put pressure on it. You lay the guitar, like the way I did it is like, because if you start putting pressure on it, because Scotch-Brite is not uniform, there are bits that are more coarse than others, you might scrape like your guitar depending on which way you're sanding it. So just don't put any pressure on it, just the weight of your arm, and just go easy. Keep the sponge wet because they'll keep like the impurity out of the sponge.
And I guess that's the reason why I didn't trust myself with trying this on guitars that I modded, because some were pretty expensive and didn't want to mess up my custom shop Les Paul, right? Yeah. So that's why I use these, because these, if it says 3,200, every little corn on this thing is
it's a lot more consistent.
So it's not gonna surprise you, not gonna scratch the hell out of that surface that you're handling it with. So that's.
Puddinja is an interesting question. How do I know if I need to shim the neck? Will I know before I put the strings on?
You could. There's a way of measuring it. You can put a ruler, like a straight edge. Do I have? That's not that kind of ruler. It has the little notches.
The dents
for the frets. But if you have, like, which I don't have now, a really long and straight ruler, you can put that on the frets. Like, you don't have strings on the guitar yet, right? You put that on the frets and see where it hits the bridge. Yeah. If it's above the bridge, then the neck is too steep. If it just hits the surface of the body, that's too low. That means that the neck is too straight. You need to shim it a little more. And if it's just the ruler hits somewhere under the saddles, then you're gonna be in the green zone. Then you can work those strings with the adjustment of the bridge and make it work without any shims. Yeah. Okay, so that's something that you need some tools, like a proper straight edge that needs to be really, really straight. Otherwise, it fools you. That's important, and the neck should be, of course, straight. If it's not straight, that will also change the situation.
The neck,
so,
you mean?
You need to straighten the neck with the truss rod, just for this, and then you can tell where, like, at which height the ruler meets the bridge. Okay, should be under the saddles, but not too low under the saddles. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And there's one thing that I wanted to mention, because someone asked for like the most used tools you would definitely want to have if you're making a guitar. If you don't bother about the headstock, you just leave the headstock that you got with the kit, then you're fine. But most probably you will want to give it a shape. And if you want to follow curves, like saw curves and whatever, you need a jigsaw. A jigsaw is something that I could not live without. I use that for the headstock shape. For example, this is a headstock for base I made for Julia last year. And maybe this year as well. Not sure yet. Maybe you'll have to check it out. Because maybe there's going to be a video of Julia doing things with a DIY base. Maybe. And obviously, to have this shape out of a pretty rectangular one, you save a lot of time if you can actually follow these curves with the jigsaw.
There's a video who's saying a Pierre pedal grip cutout in your kit. You will need a jigsaw as well for that. Yes.
Yes. And also for this guy.
Yeah, true.
The pig guard for this GA, the offset kit, is like a turtle's guard, which looks pretty, but I don't want that kind of look for the guitar. So I wanted black. So what I did is I got this blank pig guard, which is a black 3-ply pig guard, blank really, and put the original pig guard on it and just draw the shape. I will have to cut this out pretty soon, by the way. I'm kind of stressed out, but
don't worry.
We'll get there.
You see where I'm at, so don't stress too much.
Yeah, so this is what I will be working on the next days. I'll just use one of these guys and grab a jigsaw. It's one of the coolest tools. If you want to work with wood anyhow, jigsaw is...
Or you can get a plasma cutter, alternatively. Sean McCartney was saying his tip is easier than mine now, and I went back to his. Like, if your bridge is decked and your nut slots are fitted to a perfect height, and your frets are leveled perfectly, and your truss rod is set perfectly, and the action is still too high, then shim. Like, yeah. The fact that you use the word perfect 4 times in that sentence rules me out anyways. So I'm going to go with the beam and just like clonk it on there and see what's up.
Yeah,
but
it's a subtle thing.
True. It's true as well. It's true as well. I'm just not good enough for that. I'm more of a tater-tot type. So like, well, Arrested Development, yeah, that's also a good show.
Actually, I didn't show my guitar to Guillaume at all. I've seen his 1 or 2 times. I didn't see it finished, and I will not want to see it finished before we shoot a video on it, which is going to be out on the 25th of May, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday, and it should be the 25th, which means that we have to really hurry up. And I don't want to see his guitar, but he didn't see anything of my guitar.
Nope.
And the only thing he spotted that I will carve something. So it's going to be like proper little knives.
Clean your camera roll the next time you show me something else.
And one thing I can tell about it, because many people went for some crazy woodworking, like crazy like waves. There was this one guy making insane waves and like holes inside it. It was the craziest, finest woodworking I've ever seen on a guitar. So that needs time. If you want to go for that, 2 months is going to be a tough time frame.
And if you're like me, and it's your first guitar finish, even just finishing the guitar is a stretch. But, that's where we're at. We're making the most of it, and you guys will see our finished guitars on the 25th of May.
Cannot wait, and I really hope I will be done with it.
Yeah, me too. Masking tape on the pickguard to protect it from scratches when cutting. Yes, unless it has plastic film.
Yeah, this one right here where I painted on, this one has a plastic film, like a protective little thingy on it, and I will not remove it until I cut it out and I have the shape and everything is fine, and I don't have to do anything with it other than just mount it, like put the pickups in it and everything. Yes, protect it, of course. If you don't want like a matte look or like a relic look, definitely protect it, because you will scratch it everywhere otherwise.
Yeah, sorry Michael, I didn't see your first comment there. He's asking why aren't there any options for left-handed players with DIY kits. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
We talked about
We know.
that.
Yeah. There really should be, and I'm
Yeah.
100% sure that there will be.
Absolutely.
It's such a sad situation. I am left-handed, so I absolutely feel you, left-handed player, who feel that kind of left out.
You were just forced into holding your guitar the other way.
No, I was forced to write with my right hand.
Yeah.
That's a school thing, and that's the 80s in Hungary. But that's a different thing. No, I grabbed a right-handed guitar because my dad had a right-handed guitar, and the pots really hurted like this. So I was like, nah, this cannot be right. So I started this way. But you need two hands to play guitar, so it doesn't really matter if you're right or left-handed. You can play both. You can learn both, right? So, but the problem is that I know this from like pedal companies and guitar companies and everything. I've seen so many interviews about this and talked to people. It's like there's so many left-handed people asking for left-handed guitars, but once they make a few hundred, they sell 10. And that's so stupid because they want to give left-handed players the option and offer, you know, different colors and everything, and left-handed players want it, but there's so much more right-handed people that per model that you can buy as left-handed, it's just barely any guitar sold. So that's why it's always a struggle, and I don't know any guitar company people who would say like, oh, we don't want left-handed because we don't like them. They want to, but it's in many cases, it's just the opposite of what makes sense in terms of business decisions. So they want to give everything, you know, for left-handed. Yeah. It's often a struggle, but I know that Harley Benton guys are really keen on offering as much as possible for left-handed people as well. Yeah. So I am 100% sure that soon there will be at least a few options for left-handed people.
That's what Sean is saying here as well. No one offers a better selection of lefty styles than Harley Benton.
Yeah, they really want to nail that.
It's really not because they don't want. It's just like a process of like studying not only the market but the manufacturing process to make the kits lefty as well. It's definitely a shame that it's still not available. As Kris said, it surely will be in the near future, and I'm sorry that if that rolls you out of this competition, it's a shame. But yeah, no, we understand, and pretty sure that the guys over there are doing what they can to bring that soon.
And it even makes sense, right? These are factories. There's like an assembly line, right? You have the routers, everything is programmed. You have the workers who do this and that motion, and if you want to make lefties, you have to stop a production line, like a whole row of, you know, routers and people who are involved in that, and do lefties instead of making the righties, which always sell. So that's where the struggle comes in. It becomes way more expensive for a company to make a few lefties, which will probably sell as well. So, but as you already noticed, the Harley Benton guys are really keen on offering as many lefties as possible, and the DIY kits are not there yet, which is a shame, but I'm sure it will change. Yeah.
What he said. Pruning just saying Steve I barely needs one hand to play guitar. Yeah, that's it.
He barely needs one hand to play 3 guitars at the same time. One of which is a bass.
Just like use your left hand on the righty guitar and play. I mean, just be like Steve Vai.
No, actually, the thing is, if you're playing for long, like years, and you're lefty, playing lefty guitars, don't bother. Don't listen to me. Ignore me. Yeah. But if you're a lefty beginner and you just played a few weeks or months, and you are like, oh, come on, all the guitars I want, I never find, and I don't find the cool colors, cool models, everything too expensive. Try a righty guitar. Honestly, I am lefty, and my right hand is just a miserable piece of thing. I am like as lefty as one can be, and I play this way because I had no lefty guitar available at that time, so I kind of did it. And I pretty immediately realized that my left hand, which is the fretting hand, which does a big portion of all the stuff that make you suffer at the beginning, F major, just saying, and all the bar chords, I was like,
Yeah, but look
Easy.
at you now.
Easy.
Look at you now.
No, I was not struggling. Like all my other buddies starting guitar playing, righties with righty guitars, they were like, oh yeah, that works, and like grab an F. It's like,
Nope.
I can't. And I was like, why can't you? It's easy. Because I'm a lefty and use my left hand to fret. So, as told, in case you're just kind of beginner and a lefty, try right-handed guitars. You might feel like, oh wow, that's so easy.
What are you saying?
What? You're testing?
I couldn't with my right.
No. But same. But I'm gonna blame
Yeah,
it
but
on
you're
the
playing
fact
for
that
10 years or
that's
longer,
it.
I guess?
I'm gonna blame it on the fact that I've been playing for like 15 years.
Yeah,
or something.
no way. It feels wrong. Like,
Couple more comment questions. Hillbilly George, maybe, I don't know. Maybe a stupid question, I'm sure it's not. Can I use any guitar kit from Thomann or just one specific model? No, you can use any. Any of the DIY kits.
Yeah.
Again, there'll be a link either underneath this live stream or go underneath the DIY hashtag DIY Kit Challenge 22 original video that came out 2 weeks ago now.
3 weeks ago, yeah.
And you'll have all the links to all the terms and conditions, all the links to all of the kits. All of them are absolutely valid. And Deja Voodoo said after that whole lefty debacle that a lefty adapting a right-hand kit could be worth a bonus point or two and could stand out as well. That's absolutely true. Yeah.
Yes.
If someone pulls out like a Jimi Hendrix out of it, this would be pretty epic.
Oh yes.
Benny said they are working stuff out for lefty DIYs once I asked him. Oh, okay, cool. I hope this is true. Yeah, we hope to. But as far as we know, yeah, Benny said that, and like a couple more insider contacts.
Yeah. I mean, I know that Ben is really like, he loves what he's doing and really wants to nail everything, and they really pay attention to what people want to see and get, and you know, they let you guys inspire them of like which model needs like maybe a new whatever shape or different pickups or different colors or whatever. The scalping thing just started because people were asking for it and people
I wonder
fell out.
where that came from.
Yeah. So they pay attention, and it's a shame, but it will change, I'm pretty sure, as soon as it's possible.
Yes.
Corona and the whole shipping situation doesn't help, because it's
That's true.
For the last 2 years it's been always a struggle to get certain parts everywhere in all the industries, but I'm sure that if it's possible they will fix it.
Amanda was saying, hit that like. Thank you so much, Amanda. And yes, you guys can go ahead and please do that. That's always it's always good for the YouTube gods out there. It's been about an hour and 15 minutes now. Time goes fast when we have fun. It had been a while. It won't be as long until the next live stream. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. It's been a good time. Hope you enjoyed it as well. Maybe learned something about DIY kits or assembly or modification, or how lefties can be tortured into playing right-handed guitars. Hungary in the 80s.
By the way, yeah.
But hope that was. Sorry, you were gonna say?
And, in case someone's wondering why I play so many legatos and never play like actual shreddy stuff, right hand? Nah. Left hand? Nah.
That explains a lot. That explains a lot. Do you guys want to know why I can't play anything with either hand? I'm going to show you. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. It was really, really fun. Hope you have fun with the kit challenge. Hope you have fun even without the kit challenge, and just have a fun life and a fun week, hopefully. And yeah, we'll see you on Wednesday, and we'll see you in the comment section, and we'll see you
on Thursday?
On Thursday and Friday. Oh, I didn't post it the time.
Good job.
I'll see you tomorrow on Hit the Tone, because I'm not going to do it now. So anyways, thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Have a great week. And we love you.
We definitely do.
Bye-bye.
Let's do an F sharp minor thing. And D. That's definitely a song. Mayor, right?